Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kyle Van Voorhis with Voorhis.com, and today I'm going to share with you 4 principles that you need to follow in order to be able to sell any product. They're very simple, but very few people do them. Let's dive right in. You may have heard this before. Sales is sales is sales. And it's a euphemism for selling is fundamental across every single product that you can sell. And I truly do believe this. If you master the art of sales, you can be really dynamic with the different products that you are selling. That being said, oftentimes salespeople develop these fundamental principles without the awareness. And I can tell you the best salespeople I know are very aware of what the mechanisms are at work that cause people to make real buying decisions. So I'm going to share with you 4 principles that you should internalize. And once you do, you'll be able to sell anything, anywhere. Number 1 here, all that matters is the prospect, not the product. I can't stress this one enough. The amount of product training we give salespeople, SDRs, and AEs is crazy to me. Of course, salespeople should understand the product that they're selling, no doubt about that. But if you look at the ratio of product training at most organizations against prospect training or industry training, it is way lopsided. Salespeople tend to know more about the product than they know about the person they're selling it to. And this is an incredible mistake. If you are an SDR, if you're an AE, if you sell anything, you need to immerse yourself in the world of the prospect and really understand them better than you understand your product. And that leads me to principle number 2. You have to understand the world of the prospect. If you sell to somebody and you've never been to their office, or you've never spoken in a non-sales conversation with somebody who's in that role, you are leaving a lot on the table. Because the truth is, where you learn the best is when there are no strings attached. In a sales conversation, a lot of times the person you're talking to is withholding information or not sharing their true feelings because they don't feel that it's an appropriate time to do so because there's a sales interaction going on. By getting out of that environment and meeting your prospects in their world, you're going to learn a ton, a lot about the problems that they face, what keeps them up at night, and how they would like to try to solve specific problems. Now, of course, as you learn the world of your prospect, you really immerse yourself in how they think and behave, something ultimately needs to be very, very clear to you. What is their current state and what is their ideal future state? By knowing these 2 things, you're going to identify a gap between where they are today and where they want to be. That is where every sale is made, because your solution should be positioned to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And sometimes the best way to learn what that is by talking to these people outside of a sales environment. Number 4, last but certainly not least, you really want to understand how that prospect is trying to solve the problem that your product or service solves by themselves. Smart business owners are trying to solve problems that they are running into. Any challenge they have, they want to be able to overcome. So they have a way of solving that problem today. If you don't know what that way is, you're not going to be able to speak to how that isn't a true solution, or you're not going to be able to position your solution as something that has significant value over what their current attempt is. So those are the 4 things. And let me give you an example here to really illustrate this. Let's say we're a tech-enabled IT solution provider, and we want to talk to business owners that have over 10 employees and sell them our IT services, like doing onboarding and offboarding for employees, giving tech support for the different services that you use or the different softwares that you use, things like this. So the first one, all that matters is the prospect. Your product comes second. So, and a clear example of this is really reaching out, understanding from the prospect's perspective how IT is burdensome for them as a business owner. So if they have high turnover in their organization, they might be doing a lot of onboarding and offboarding. Or if they're a seasonal business, they'll do a lot of onboarding and offboarding as well. So that could be a lot more burdensome for them. The second piece here is understand the world of the prospect. Really, how does their business operate and what are the different mechanisms within their business that cause stress for the business owner? So if we go back to the example of somebody having a seasonal business, it might be kind of frustrating when they're doing the onboarding and the offboarding every season because it requires a lot of labor in order to make that happen and it's not as smooth as it should be. And they actually need to hire more people to be able to accomplish that. Number 3, you want to know the current state and the desired future state. So same type of sale, but let's say you're speaking to a business where they're really only onboarding and offboarding people every 6 months. And maybe even further, the IT questions that they get are really minimal. Maybe they're getting 2 a week. So by understanding the current state, and you can ask them what their ideal future state is, oh, no IT questions every week. All right, well, we're only saving 2 questions a week. Is that really going to be providing enough value to justify moving forward with your solution? Probably not. Number 4, understand how they're trying to solve the problem today. So maybe they have something in place to try to make it easier, like a checklist for onboarding people or a checklist when they offboard folks. And if they're not doing it that often, it may not be very burdensome to the business. And again, just to repeat myself, if a problem isn't having a huge impact to the organization, it's probably not going to justify them adding a new solution, especially if they're going to have to spend a premium to be able to do that. Alrighty, that's it, folks. If you can understand those 4 things to your core, you are going to be able to sell any product. And if you go and join a new organization, that's where you should really start. Start with the prospect. Once you understand the prospect really well, then focus more on your product. Hey, if you want to watch more videos on how to improve your sales skills, check this one out.